Welcome to the Realness Radio Podcast. We're back in this bad boy this week. It's been a good week, man. What are we talking about this week?
Hello. We are talking music this week, man. I know it's a good passion of yours, a big passion of yours. I love it as well. And we're really getting down to the nitty gritty of the new Verzuz that's coming up with Bow Wow and Lil Soulja Boy. You know what I'm saying?
It is a big music week. Had a really good conversation. So, y'all, listen through the intro and join us.
I'm for real. I'm for real.
Realer than real.
You're now tuned into the Realness Radio Podcast.
I got you stuck off the realness.
Realness.
Y'all feel me? Y'all feel. Y'all definitely feel.
Really twisted when I got here. Got more twisted and then got super stoned.
I mean, that's the way I like to do it when you come to my house. Welcome to my house, and those of you who are listening, welcome to the show. It has been 1 week since you've heard from us, and now we're back, and we're talking again into microphones for your pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring up something for me that is extremely exciting. And maybe you guys don't care. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. But tomorrow is going to mark a fantastic day.
What's
Tomorrow
tomorrow?
at 5 o'clock, our time here in Arizona, Little Bow Wow will be taking the stage with Young Draco, and they will be doing Verzuz, Soulja Boy versus Little Bow Wow tomorrow night. It's going to be one of the biggest showdowns in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Two young 2000s rappers making their comeback from their child stardom. But seriously, I'm super excited about it because they have been arguing and yelling at each other online, and we all know that Soulja Boy is not a stable human being, and
Not at all.
he has just been making me very excited for this because I just can't wait for him to get on there and just be like, I started everything. I'm the person. There is nothing without me. Drake. I made Drake. I can't wait. He's going to try to tell us how many things that
Everything he started.
He started, he made, he's the originator.
He started mullets.
He started mullets. He started El Caminos.
Yep.
He started the left-hand guitar.
But seriously though, he was the first YouTube rapper. I mean, maybe that's where this all stems from, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like he has this grandiosity about himself because, like,
I wouldn't even say. I would say that he was one of the first people that we got to
blow up.
Take full advantage of the internet space, right? So he blew up on. It was MySpace back then when it first started.
Yeah.
You know, he blew up on
Remember
MySpace when we were all watching MySpace.
Yeah.
And he had Soulja Boy Tell Him, you know, and he was doing, you know, the you and the whole dance, and we were all doing it.
My little cousins did that at my wedding when I was 22. That's like 13 years ago.
Sounds about right, because
Yeah.
that would have been, you know, something you would have done during that time. You know, we all did it.
Superman, yeah.
Yeah, we all Superman that hoe. We all did, you know, all the dances. So, I mean, he had a run. I mean, he definitely had a run. But, see, the thing about it that I find interesting is I think it's just good. I like him talking shit part, right? Where you angle that a little more towards your – there you go.
Yeah.
I like the him talking shit part because when it comes down to the basics of math, Bow Wow's got a lot more music. A lot more singles.
You got the track list, yeah.
He's got a huge track list that he's done with a lot of different artists, and I don't like Bow Wow. We share a first name. I don't like Bow Wow. He's kind of a dick, too.
Is he a Rashad?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, his name on the internet is Shad Moss.
Oh, tight.
Yeah, it's Rashad Moss.
Yeah.
So, like, he's a dick, I feel like, and he also is one of those people who wants more credit than we want to give him just because he thinks he deserves it. So it's kind of interesting to see two people who think they deserve more, but we're not going to give that to him because we don't feel that.
Yeah.
And they're going to go on stage and tell us how great they are.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be hilarious tomorrow. And I'm going to be so happy and be smiling.
So,
but, I mean, honestly, Bow Wow has a complete discography.
well, he fucked with the right people.
Well, he has a complete discography of stuff from
Yeah.
when he was a kid alone. Working with Jermaine Dupri, it couldn't have gotten any better than that. And then the middle half of his career, coming into a young adult, making a whole bunch of music. Then the, I don't know, third quarter-ish of young adultism when he started to do a whole bunch of songs with Omarion and that whole wave of music. I think he did a couple songs with Pain. I mean, he's got some songs that will play and people will be like, oh, that's nostalgia as fuck. Where Little Bow Wow or Soulja Boy's, you got Soulja Boy Tell 'Em, you got Kiss Me Through the Phone.
Kiss Me Through the Phone.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
It's a good one. He's got a couple little songs, but he'll have to play like deep cuts for like OnlyFans of his because they're not huge singles.
Yeah, so I guess from my perspective, because I never latched on to Bow Wow, I never latched on to Soulja Boy, and was just never really a follower of either of them. And when this all initially kind of popped off, it was Bow Wow and Romeo, right? You sent me something about Bow Wow and Romeo, and that was like super like. I was like, dude, why waste Versus time? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that's why it didn't go down because Romeo. It's almost like a Soulja Boy, but even worse. Where Romeo he stopped making music after he was young, so there's nothing.
And then it just kind of evolved into this Soulja Boy thing. But my perspective of it is that it's actually really great now, and especially with you hyping it up, it's completely awesome because we have a Versus where they're actually like battle rapping now. Like there's a beef here.
Yeah, and you
haven't really had a beef on Versus yet. I mean, maybe you did. I haven't seen all of them, and I'm not.
We did. We had one, and that was the Gucci Jeezy.
The Gucci Jeezy.
That was the Gucci Jeezy where
but
that one was kind of.
Now we have like a real beef. Now it's.
Oh no! You have
excited.
one that at least is being placated to us having a beef, and Soulja Boy seems like he has a beef with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So. He was just screaming on the internet last week when Charlemagne on the Breakfast Club said that he wasn't from Atlanta.
Yeah.
And he had a big-ass fit, and he was on IG Live screaming and being upset. So it's going to be good for, like, the trolling quality of that event. You know what I mean? I think that's what I'm actually more excited for.
And also, you don't have a lot of rappers that are gonna like step in and even just entertain this fool with all of his remarks, but Bow Wow was like down. He's like, "Fuck this fool!" Like he's like, "I made you, motherfucker."
They've been arguing for years.
Like,
there was a video from when Bow Wow was probably like I don't know first YouTube videos type thing where it's like he's first vlogging, and
Bow Wow was 22.
Is he? He's got to be older than that.
I think he's like 23.
No, he's got to be older than that.
For real?
Yeah, he's got to be older. He's closer to our age. He's got to be at least 30.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got to be.
Maybe I'm off.
He's got to be at least 30.
Because I was like, dude, we seen him when he was like 8.
But
in the Snoop video, you know.
But then we were like 12.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's not.
So maybe like 20. Yeah, 28, 29.
He's pretty. He should be pretty old. Let me look it up here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I just watched a very dated video that I thought was recent.
Oh yeah, dog. You got the game fucked up.
Yeah,
you got the game super fucked
like
up.
I said, I don't follow them fools anyway.
Super fucked up.
But it's gonna be interesting to watch these fools.
Shad. I don't even know if his first name is Rashad like mine, but it's Shad Gregory Moss, better known as his stage name Bow Wow.
Actually, I'm gonna call it 30.
You're gonna call it 30?
Yeah. Now that I'm piecing the timelines together, I'm gonna call it 30.
You're vastly off.
Was I closer on my first one?
No, you were way off.
Is he like 35?
He's 34 years old.
Oh my God, he's our age.
Yeah, he's a year younger than us. He was born in 1987.
That's
March 9th.
Oh, right in
1980
between us too.
Yeah, March 9th, 1987.
That's tight.
So he's a March baby like us.
Oh, cool.
And he's a year younger than us.
That's why he's going in.
But that's why I was like, nah, he's our age. I was like, he's our age.
Yeah, I was fucking way off.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you're
Samsonite.
I was like, yeah,
I was
you're
way off.
I was like, 20s? What are you talking about, dude? We're old as fuck. There's no way he's in his 20s, and I'm in my 20s.
Yeah. I just remember seeing that Snoop Dogg video when I was like 15 and he was like a baby, so I always assumed like he was way younger than us, you know?
Nah, that was just syndicated years
but
later.
that video came out when I was a baby, so I guess, yeah.
Clearly, when you saw him dancing in the video,
yeah.
you were the same age, player. Lil Bow Wow wasn't like, oh man, look at that little dude.
Okay, let me ask you this, because everybody I ask seems to have a different interpretation of it, but Superman that hoe, what does that mean to you? What is a Superman?
What do you mean Superman?
Okay, so you got like the Urban Dictionary, right? Where things mean things, right?
Yes.
So I have an interpretation of the Superman, but every time I bring it up to somebody, they have a different interpretation of the Superman. And I just want to know what yours is.
So tell me what you think Superman that hoe.
You want me to go first?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
I've got to hear this.
It's always outlandish, too. When everybody hears it, it's just like I feel weird saying it because it's so retarded.
You should, because I feel like this is going to sound bad.
Okay, so my interpretation of the Superman, what I've always heard it was that when you was fucking a chick, right? Like one night stand type of deal, y'all fucked up, getting busy. And you're hitting it doggy style and you bust on her back, right? And then you take the sheet and you smack it on her back, and then y'all pass out and she wake up in the morning and she has a cape. And it's a Superman cape. It's never what the other interpretation is, so I'm not sure what it is.
Sorry, listeners. I apologize.
That's my favorite. I love that.
This is
it's hilarious.
This is very much the what white people think. This is the don't let Tony's half Mexican fool you. He is half white, and there's some things that just go over his head sometimes. All right, now Supermaning that hoe.
I just heard that and I love it. And I'm sticking to it.
Supermaning that hoe could mean a lot of things. I mean, you could take that as alliteration.
Mm-hmm.
He was a child.
Yeah.
So he definitely didn't mean that. Stop laughing directly in the mic.
Sorry.
Fuck. He definitely didn't mean that because he was a child. So he definitely didn't mean to say that he was going to Superman that hoe by nutting on her back. Plus,
Again, I was way off.
Yeah, plus black guys, we don't have names for stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's not like a he would have just nutted on her back and called it that. Just like, yeah, I called it the nutted on her back.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, black guys don't. We don't have like the Eiffel Tower and all those names and all those things.
That's strictly white shit.
That's all white guy shit.
Yeah.
We don't,
well, the Eiffel Tower is totally white shit.
Yeah, we don't have names.
A-frame.
Yeah, we don't do those.
Yeah.
At all. So Supermaning that hoe. Oh my God, I'm turning your mic down so much.
Am I all up in it?
You're all up in it, dude. You're all up in it.
Good.
Far too up in it. Let me just turn you down because you're going to make me edit more than I want to. All right. It's not alliteration, and you got to remember, Supermaning that hoe, when he says that, he's using slang.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like black folks talk. He's using slang, and he's saying it's like I say hoe and bitch for inanimate objects. Like, pass me that bitch right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know I mean in the remote, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm doing a dance move, you know, like this is the Millie Wop, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just Millie Wop the shit out that hoe.
Yeah.
That's more or less what he's saying. He's saying now.
So it's a dance.
It's always been a dance. It's
just the move, because I know the move.
He's saying,
I know the move.
He's telling you to literally do the Superman.
All right.
Superman that hoe. Now Superman that hoe is not literally. He means do that move.
Yeah.
Do the Superman.
So he started dances.
Yeah, well, yeah. He didn't start it.
No, I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, he didn't start it, but he came in at a good time because, I mean, the snap was already out there. Them franchise boys had already been doing their thing. You know, all the walk it out, the snap dances, all that shit was already been out.
Mm-hmm.
So by time he came in the game, because he is substantially younger than us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that stuff was cool, but we were already older.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when we was dancing to Soulja Boy, I was in the club.
Mm-hmm.
I was at Envy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I was like 21 and shit by then. So I always thought that was funny when people are like, "What's Superman that hoe?" But I'm like, he's literally showing you guys a dance move, and why do people confused about what he's saying?
Yeah.
It's literally he's doing the dance.
Yeah.
It's a child's dance.
I'm all about shock value, so my interpretation's I'm gonna still tell people that same story.
I feel like you are. And maybe you want to caveat it later that that's not exactly what it means, but yeah, you know.
Like I have a black friend who explained it to me, and
yeah,
that's
black
not
guys.
what it means.
The black guys wouldn't literally be like, "Oh, Superman that hoe." Like it's just not. It's not how we get down. Superman that hoe. Do you know what that means? Let me elaborate for you for a minute. That means when you're having coitus with your significant other, when you pull out, you're gonna let the semen
socks on.
You're gonna let the semen there go on her back, and then you're gonna place a light sheet, blue colored if you like, and then wake up. You're gonna have to wait the whole night for this. Okay, then wake up.
You're gonna have to wait the whole night.
You wake up and see if she looks like Superman, and that's the Supermaning that hoe. This is the very long explanation for something that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Oh shit!
Fucking
Thank you
white
for
people,
ridiculing
man.
me.
Fucking white people, man.
Oh,
this
God,
is
damn it.
This is why the Soulja Boy shit just stayed in our community. Okay, you guys just did not get. They were like, I don't understand the Superman and the Batman. How come you guys are doing all that? It's a fucking dance.
Yeah.
What are you not understanding? It's a dance. He was like, do you not understand what the electric slide is? I mean,
hate
white
my
people
white mother right now.
in general. Like, what do you mean? What is the?
Just kidding. I love you, Mom.
What is you? Like,
you.
he showed you in the video what a U is.
Yeah.
It's not the letter U.
Yeah.
It's fucking throwing your hand to the left or the right, and it's fucking moving your body. You just U'd.
Yeah.
You just.
I feel enlightened right now.
I need to start a video.
Awakened.
I need to start a video thing, y'all. For all my niggas in the background. Hey, shout out. I need to start a thing so I can just discuss what black people trying to say for white people. This was one of those moments where it's like, why would he do something so complicated in the middle of a song?
I'm giving him too much credit, ain't I?
Like, that dude is really not that intelligent.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. I like my version better.
I'm like, black guys just don't. Like, got names and shit. I just don't. We had this conversation. Sorry to say, we had this conversation at work about like these sex names and stuff.
Sex names?
Like, you know, like the A-frame and the those little sex name things that you guys make up.
Why are you saying you guys?
Because you're half of
What do you
him.
mean by you people?
I mean, you Caucasians.
I'm not Caucasian, okay?
You're half Caucasian.
Sir.
So I'm speaking to you and your mother, okay? This is not my fault, okay? This is your fault. I didn't bring you into this world,
I've been in the house all summer, so I am a little, light-skinned than usual, but.
Just these names and the spit roast and the this and the that. I had somebody have to tell me these names, and I had to start asking what these things were because I just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, yeah, that's like putting a finger in her butt. And I'm like, why didn't you just say you put a finger in her butt?
Yeah.
Like, why do we have to make it a name? It's like, oh, yeah, you spit on it and then you put it in. I'm like, I thought that's what you did anyway.
Yeah.
I always spit on it.
That's just protocol. It's just
like,
proto.
I mean, you're following proto, bro. Like, Fed Smoker would be proud you'd be following proto. Like, just don't let Fed Smoker find out you're not following proto in the bedroom.
Yeah.
I just that definitely takes me to that place where I'm like, I don't understand what this is what the miss is with white culture to black culture. We need this gap of explainer right here.
Yeah.
And why why black people call things the way they do. We're very colorful with our language, okay? Things are not meant to be alliteration.
Yeah.
White folks.
See, I'm
not saying this to you. I'm saying this to the audience member and the white man out there who's wearing his New Balance shoes and his fucking high pants and his safari hat and jacket on.
But that's a lot of beaners too.
Hey, you
It's
guys
weird,
too.
though.
But there's a language barrier at least. Like with the Mexicans, it's a language barrier, and it's not really so much of a cultural barrier.
Yeah.
It's more the language barrier to understand the cultures are very much the same.
Oh, totally.
But if you understood the culture, like I'm from here, so I understand Mexican culture. I understand the little nuances and the things that are said and the mannerisms and the jokes and the that.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't really got down with the black folks yet to really understand.
No, it's like that's why I was just about to say I feel like really in the gray area right now because like it seems like there's a heavy influence of black culture on Mexicans and whites.
Very much so.
There's a heavy white influence on Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? Like there you find that. I mean, you find it on on both sides, all sides of the coin.
Right.
But from my perspective, in this middle kind of ground that I'm filling in right now, like there is that because I even have a buddy who is like straight Mexicano from Nogales, but is like a straight up frat boy.
Mm-hmm.
Like a white frat boy went to U of A and is like, he's like, bro, dude, like,
oh,
like,
I got
hella
Mexican,
nasty,
I got
bro.
Mexican
like,
homeboys who say
you know
nigga just
saying?
as much as I do.
Yeah, and that too.
Even
so you
more.
have that, and you have like these cross culture like mixtures of people, and I love it. I like it all.
I can explain part of it because
I never felt comfortable saying the N-word at all. Only when you're not around.
Well, I mean, that's a good time to say it when I'm not there. Fucking racist. I let this guy in my house, people. I think the thing that really kind of explains part of that and why it is the way that it is right now is because popular culture has now moved into hip-hop. Hip-hop is popular culture.
Yep.
Hip-hop music, not just R&B. R&B and hip-hop is now popular culture.
Yes.
So it went from being in its own genre to a pop genre now.
Yeah.
So you see more of that influence. There's not many people who are young people right now who don't know who the Migos are. You know what I mean? Who doesn't know who like a Beyonce or a Jay-Z or those kind of people are because that is the influence. You know what I mean? Where in our generation growing up in the 90s and going into the 2000s, coming out of the 80s, music genres were pop. Pop was pop. It was popular culture music, and it was pop, but it had its own sound. Yeah. Where it was not only just the word popular culture, it was actually pop was kind of a sound of its own.
Yep.
And genres were more distinct.
Delineated. Maybe I don't know if that's the right word, but I know exactly what you're saying because like
they were more concise.
It almost seems like back in the day that there was that pop element, right? But you had country, and it was true country.
True country.
And it was hip-hop, and it was true hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? And you had these rock and roll. And then all of a sudden, something got really popular, and then it started bleeding into those other genres. And, like, for instance, right now, country is like white hip hop right now. It's like horrible. Like I can't listen to country right now.
It's pop right now.
I have to listen to 90s country because I still love that shit. It's really good.
Well, your Taylor Swifts and the people who come out from the people who I know who are like the hardcore country listeners are like, it's like pop music right now. Mm-hmm. It's like
we
pop
no longer
went to
have
country.
Pure R&B. It's R&B is rap.
R&B
you know what I'm saying?
I was having this conversation yesterday. R&B's dead in my opinion. Mm-hmm. R&B is my favorite style of music. It's one of my it's my lifeblood. I love R&B. If anybody who knows me knows R&B is my damn jam. And R&B's dead. R&B's unfortunately dead for the moment. Maybe we'll get a resurrection, but at the moment it's gone. We're not hearing the same R&B. R&B is now smoothed into rap.
Yeah.
And people like Drake who is an amazing, incredible, one of the biggest artists of this current lifetime.
Yeah. Artist of the century, and I think he deserves it, to be honest.
Yeah, without saying,
not century, decade.
For sure, without even, without a dispute. The thing that has happened though is it's muddied the water.
Mm-hmm.
His ability to stay in tune and sing, kind of rap, talk, sing. So he's basically singing. He's talking in melody.
Yeah.
Essentially, versus singing, he's essentially talking in melody, rapping in melody, more akin to like a Bone Thugs and Harmony than a Cisco, than a Babyface, than a Tyrese. You know what I mean? So with this generation, if I asked any of the young people, if I went out right now and I asked any of the young people, to like put some R&B on your phone right now, that you like, it's probably gonna be a dude who it's like Tory Lanez, who he's a rapper and he kind of sings. He can hold a tune and he's pretty good. He's good. That's undeniable. He's good as an entertainer, but you're not an R&B singer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where that's not a thing anymore. The people who do it, like Chris Brown can make a hook all day and it's dope as fuck. But listening to the way that he talks in his lyrics, I can't listen to that shit in the car with you.
Mm-mm.
We can't vibe down the street listening to that shit. I can't vibe down the street listening to that shit with my mom. You know what I mean? Like any of these older 90s albums, I could do that with.
Mm-hmm.
But I cannot do that right now because it's just going to be like, oh, this is it, for lack of a better word, and
gay?
not to sound like the old dude, but it's a bit what I would consider a little more vulgar.
Yeah.
To be listening to Chris Brown with your homie in the car, unless it's like Deuces or something that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I love Chris Brown, but he don't do it like Luther Vandross. You know what I mean?
Nah,
they don't do it like
he doesn't emanate that energy.
Nah, it's
just a more of a
it's a hip hop
rebel kind of style.
It's a hip hop vibe. It's like
just his persona too.
Yeah, you want to be
that's involved too.
He wants to be a contrarian. You want to be a rebel. You want to be the contrarian. He's in the news right now.
Mm-hmm.
He was just in the news the day before yesterday for allegedly punching another girl during a fight in L.A.
Yeah,
it was just yesterday.
So dumb.
You know what I mean? So or day before yesterday. For you guys, it'll be a couple days because this is being recorded on Friday, and you'll hear this on Sunday. But I don't know, you know what I mean? He's always been that, you know what I mean? And then Trey Songz started off with a really good couple albums. His first album was incredible, but then he started going more that route where he's just his music, the language got a little different. They spent more time taking their shirt off, dancing around than really doing the music. And I can't say that that's in some ways any different than when Jodeci and Cisco and everybody used to do it, but at least they were really singing in the middle of those things, in the middle.
It was more in your face. It wasn't so symbolic, I guess.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing where back in the day, and I had a good lyric that was in my head the other day. It describes such a sexy experience with a partner.
Yeah.
Where if I'm gonna listen to Trey Songz or Chris Brown or some of the other current people, you're not going to describe it in this. You're just going to tell me.
Yeah.
You're just going to tell me in the most graphic way what exactly, give me that wet ass pussy and blah. That's cool. But I come from a generation of, you know what I mean? Real serious R&B. And that's just not
I know exactly.
The vibe's different.
I know exactly what you mean because although I'm not don't get me wrong. I love R&B and I would say it's probably one of my top 3 genres. Personally, but I feel as a person in my situation, I've been with my lady for a minute. I am a lover. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that old fucking.
Me too.
That old R&B, that old, real, get down, it's expressing, it's expressive, it's real. It's I want to freak you, I want to, you know what I'm saying? It's saying it without saying it. You know what I'm saying? And this is it's just different. You're
listen to the
exactly
lyric.
right. It's vulgar and it's just Not that I don't like that, but it's not the same. It's just more appealing to our senses than anything.
Exactly. It's not the same. I don't mind the vulgarity part of it. I listen to hip hop. I love fucking gangbang, drug dealing, fucking music and shit. You know what I mean? I love Atlanta style trap music. But
it's appealing to our senses. What I meant to say is it's appealing to our senses, but it's not nuanced like it used to be.
Exactly. So it's like I enjoy that in that bracket, right? So I enjoy that at that time. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like the proper beer at a good time. Like I enjoy it at that moment.
Right.
But I don't need that in my R&B. Mm-hmm. I go to my hip hop for that. My R&B was this. You know, and you had said Freakin', and it reminds me of Jodeci.
Yeah.
Every freaking night, every
freaking day. Yeah,
I want to freak your body in every freaking way.
Oh, yeah.
So think about that.
You remind me of my Jeep like that.
I want to ride.
Oh, my God.
Something like my sound.
And like I want to bump it.
Yeah,
oh,
like,
shit.
So look at those songs. We knew exactly what they were saying.
Yeah.
And we knew what they meant. You can take that back to the 70s and put on the Whispers or put on Earth, Wind, and Fire, put on Marvin Gaye. You knew what they were saying.
Yeah.
We knew what you was getting at.
See,
but they didn't have to be like, let me slap my dick into your pussy.
Yeah. See, the purists are getting pushed out.
Yeah.
It's all like it has to be all muddied. Like it has to be
all
waters. Intertwined. It has to be all this shit.
Well,
like the purists are no longer.
Well,
I love the purists.
Me too. I love the purists, and that does bring up a conversation of something that we had. I had sent you was that thing that the conversation that Usher had with T-Pain. Mm-hmm. And I'll recap it for the listeners since me and you both know. But, they were coming from a Grammys. They're on a plane. T-Pain's sleeping. One of his people comes up, wakes him up, say, Usher wants to talk to you. And Usher essentially looks him in the face and tells him, you fucked up music. Meaning that the way that T-Pain's style came into music, that he fucked up music using the auto-tune. I mean, so part of me says it's a yes and a no. It's a yes and a no situation, right? Because did T-Pain's style irrevocably change the landscape? Yes. Did he ruin it? No. So I think that's a harsh thing to say to one of your younger.
No, I think Lil Wayne is an ode to that statement.
I think Lil Wayne.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
I think Lil Wayne.
You could say that Lil Wayne ruined rap. No, he kind of enhanced it a bit.
Well, and honestly, with that same subject, when it comes to the auto-tune, Lil Wayne actually was one that killed it a little more because he was using it for a long-ass time. And then, like, literally Young Thug still using that same sound. Yeah. So, I mean, yes, he did irrevocably change the landscape of how we listened to R&B and how we did that whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know if he necessarily,
it's for the white people,
right? I don't necessarily like ruin it because, like you said, so you just said Cher. That's a fun fact I love to tell people all the time. Cher's "Do You Believe in Love After Love" is the first song that actually used autotune incorrectly in the style that we know today. Autotune is meant to keep a singer on pitch, and it's used in every bit of music you've ever heard.
Hence the name.
Exactly. Right, it helps you auto-tune yourself to pitch. So for singers like your Britney Spears or your Jason Derulo's, people who are moderately talented but are not like your Christina Aguilera's, it helps them and other vocalists stay in tune.
So and essentially what you're saying is, real quick, that if you weren't quite in tune, you could enhance the audio by putting in an auto-tune, but what these people are doing are ramping that auto-tune up to make a different sound.
Correct.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't ever think of it that way.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to just keep you in pitch and keep you sounding like you're supposed to sound on your album.
That's why you'd always have those live singers that don't sound like they do on the record. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because when they're in the studio, they're using auto-tune and all these other things to make them sound perfect. You know what I mean? So what they did was they got that idea. They were just messing around with it and figured out how to make this funky tone. and decided to start using that as a concept.
So that makes a point right there that essentially auto-tune becoming mainstream almost pushed purist singers to become more pure in their singing, making the game better.
Well,
if you think about it that way, because if I was if I was a singer and I knew I had the fucking pipes,
right.
I would be like, nah, I ain't using auto-tune.
Right.
I'm gonna sound just as good as I am
right.
live as I am on the
right.
radio. You know
right.
what I'm saying? So like, that's an argument right there. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's an argument for sure right there. And I mean, I don't think that you can say that it messed things up, because it does make people stay higher on their game, right? So Usher says that, and then Usher repeatedly right back after that goes out and makes "Oh My God" with will.i.am that's just auto-tune all over the album or the song, and it was a great fucking song.
Right.
And then Usher puts out 2 albums after that are still bangers. So it's not like you were untalented and he ruined your career. He did make the landscape change a little bit, but he didn't ruin anything. T-Pain later had to come back on the second half of his career and drop the auto-tune, and sing unplugged, just so people knew that he actually had talent.
I remember
and he
that,
can actually sing like that, without the voice manipulation. That's just a fun effect that he likes to do for himself.
Maybe Usher was feeling a little threatened.
And he probably was. He probably was, because it does lend credence to the muddying of the waters, right? Because it does make it available for Lil Wayne to be singing, and Young Thug, and bring in things like Drake and other people who can do a style of melodic voice movement, you know what I mean? Voices singing. So it did change the landscape. And I guess we're still not in the future enough to know whether that's a good or a bad thing. But that is one thing to say to a friend and coworker, you know what I mean? It's like, that's like we're out here trying, the podcast blows up, you know what I mean? And we did it a little different, and then somebody like Tom Segura is like, you guys fucked up podcasting. And we're like, what
the fuck?
Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you just crushed. That was like a don't meet your hero thing, but you happen to be on a jet with him. Yeah. And then they chose to wake you up out your sleep to be like, hey, bro, good job at the Grammys. Yeah. You fucked up music. Yeah. I think that
also speaks to T-Pain's mindset at the time too, because I think if you're super confident in what you're doing and you're like, I don't give a fuck either way, even if someone does tell me I fucking suck, you're like, fuck you know what I'm saying? But like, if you are a little bit self-conscious about it, that could kind of rock your world. Well, you know what I'm saying?
It did, admittedly, in his own statement, say that it was
but
probably
he came out
one
of it, and I'm happy he did.
I'm happy he's on the other side of it for sure. It did admittedly bring one of the things that brought him into his depression, and he says it's probably one of the catalysts that definitely helped aid his depression. But musicians, creatives, we're all fragile. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're all fragile people. So
you're thinkers.
Yeah. We're thinkers. We're introspective. We're very creative because we're in our heads a lot about things. And for someone you would admire, to tell you that you're the cause of the downfall of music, you take that pretty heavy.
Yeah, and that's also it's not necessarily a good thing, because sometimes you perceive the world as a lot more intense than it actually is. Right. You know what I'm saying? You perceive people's thoughts as being something that they actually aren't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, their perspective of you could have been like grandiose, but like, because you felt so insecure about it, it changed the way you like moved.
Yeah, and it makes it makes you feel minuscule in that feeling that you had. Yeah. So it was interesting for that thing to come about, because it definitely does change the landscape a lot. But I think Payne did something great for the 2000s. Nobody had hooks like Payne.
Dog, you could put
he was on everything.
Shit on right now, and I'll start grooving to it.
Yeah, it was a banger. He was on everything. His shit was great. So I shout outs to T-Pain. You're never gonna hear this ever in your life, but yo, we love you, dog. You did a lot of shit. Nappy Boy was like,
Nappy Boy. Yeah, I remember that shit.
Yeah. Like he did a lot, man. You know what I mean? And we got to give that dude a lot of credit. And to make it outside of that depression like that, you know what I mean? Like, that's a hard one for all of us.
Hell yeah.
And like, to be rich and depressed has got to be hard. Yeah, because everyone's going to tell you whatever you want to hear. There's nobody to help you, and you've got all the access and the money to just drown yourself in your sorrows any way you want to. You know what I mean? So I thought that
you got plenty of excuses to not give a fuck and just get not keep going.
Yeah, and not keep going. And he's on the other side of it with a revigorated career and telling the story. So I thought it was an interesting thing to bring up, just kind of having that debate about the whole music and the music culture and where we see it going. But, man, I feel like we've done a pretty good one today.
That was great. I loved it.
A fucking fantastic conversation. We have a couple more things that we'll be talking about next week that we didn't get to today. But we'll definitely talk more about those next week. Guys, don't forget that you can go to My Shrooms and get yourself a grow kit. One of the best grow kits on the market right now to grow your own mushrooms, whether they be to eat or to have fun. There's an opportunity there. There will be a link in the bio where you can get this great new product brought to you by my co-host, Tony, and his partner, Tristan, who is a good buddy of ours. Trust me,
Drisky.
it is something you guys are interested in. If you have an inkling of mycology in your blood, you're going to want to check that out. And I hear they're running a little disco for this a month, so you might want to check that out. Tony?
Yeah. No, I believe that between me and Tristan, we probably have a good 3 to 4 years of solid, mushroom experience. So we've put together a kit that's gonna aid you in. It's basically gonna take a lot of the pain and out of trial and error out of the equation. You know what I'm saying? So if you've never even realized that you could grow your own mushrooms, you can. It was pretty revolutionary, realizing that fact. So, and it's a fun hobby. I'm the type of person that I get into something and I'll do it and the newness wears off and then I'll jump to the next thing and I'll do this and I'll do that. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this is something that I've stuck with for over a year and I love it. And I think, if you're into that kind of like hobby, like you'll love it too. So
yeah, you guys got to check it out. It's got me interested in it. It's something that I think I'm going to be dipping my toe into because I'm interested in things like that. So My Shrooms, guys.
Yeah.
My Shrooms, you guys got to check that out. There will be a link in the bio. As for me, I will be doing my usual nerdy stuff and fish tank stuff throughout the week. You can catch me at Superior Shrek on Instagram and, of course, right here on the Pod Weekly. And, Tony, where they get you at?
Yeah, Prolific Pappy, _ between it. And, hit me up.
Holla at your boy. We appreciate you guys listening to it, and we're going to catch you on the next one.
Peace.